Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. I know I'm a little late to this party, but I thought might as well do it anyway. So today I wanted to talk to you about a new film. I don't talk about new films that often on the channel, but I wanted to make an exception with this one. The film I'm talking about today is Companion, which is a very interesting film. And it's one of those movies that's not quite what you expect going in, and I just wanted to share some thoughts about it. Now, it is a movie that has a lot of twists in it, so I'm gonna remain mostly spoiler free, but you'll know whenever I get to the spoiler section. We'll talk about the big twist of the movie, but anyway, I just wanted to share, when I went into this, I saw the teaser for it. Brilliant teaser. The teaser's really fun, playing it up like a romantic comedy at first, and then it switches, and you're like, oh, this is something like demented, something out there, not really knowing what to expect. But yeah, I really loved the first teaser, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna see that for sure, because I don't know what that is, but it looks interesting. And I hope that you've avoided the marketing for this film entirely if you could, because that first teaser's great, but every teaser after that, every trailer after that, spoiled way too much of the movie. So if you can go in blind with this one, try to do that. So I'm gonna keep that in mind when I talk about the stuff here, but just wanted to know where my headspace was going in to see this. The teaser made me think it was going to be like I don't know, kind of a twisted Bonnie and Clyde type thing, where it's like Jack Quaid's the criminal, and then Sophie Thatcher is the love interest that gets pulled along, and I don't know, I was just thinking something like that. I'll tell you right now, it's not anything like that, but just wanted you to know where my headspace was when I was first saw the teaser and what I was thinking going into the movie. So, at first glance, Companion appears to be a romantic comedy about a dysfunctional couple bonding over a shared weekend party at a friend's house. This is merely a facade that begins to chip away in the first half hour, leading to the twist. Thankfully, the film becomes more and more interesting as it goes along. Secrets are revealed as none of the partygoers are exactly what they appeared to be at the beginning. What follows is an escalating series of events that highlight themes of manipulation, betrayal, murder, self-actualization, and liberation. Now, from what I've described, the film seems to be like a disturbing psychological thriller. It is indeed that, however, the film offers a delightfully dark sense of humor that helps balance the dark storyline. The acting is incredible, especially in the case of the lead duo, Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher, but really everybody's good in this. I would award this film probably a 9 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's definitely worth watching, and yeah, I'd definitely watch it again. But I'm going to list for you some films that this film reminded me of to help you decide if you're interested in the film. This is just films that have a similar feeling or vibe, or maybe they share a certain plot element or something with. Those films that I came up with were The Menu, Ex Machina, Her, The Hunt, The Hateful Eight, Don't Worry Darling, Megan, Blade Runner, The Terminator, and A Perfect Getaway. ZBH, go to sleep. Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of the Companion review. This will contain spoilers, so please be warned if you wish to go in blind. Now, when I wrote the first part of it, that was after I had seen the film once. Those were my initial thoughts. I actually went to a secret screening, those early screenings that sometimes theaters do. First time I'd ever been to one, it was a lot of fun. So that was my first viewing. Now I have gone to see the film a second time after it was fully released, And I just wanted to tell you how I felt after a rewatch of it and go into more depth with the spoiler aspect of the film. So I'm happy to report that I think I enjoyed the film even more on a rewatch. So now that the cat's out of the bag, Iris is a robot. Like, what kind of moron would spoil that in a trailer or something like that? The pacing is great. Once the reveal happens, the story descends into a violent and hilarious comedy of errors. Jack Quaid continues the trend of playing nice guys, TM, where he at first appears to be a sweetheart but is actually a narcissistic psychopath. What appears to be a fun friends weekend at Sergei's mansion was a setup the whole time. Plot was actually a scheme between Josh and Kat to murder Sergei and steal all of his money. You might be asking, wait, how does the woman being a robot factor into any of this? Well, it's really quite simple. She's the murder weapon, and the patsy to take the fall for the crime. Poor Iris had no idea about the horrific plot or her role in it. In fact, she wasn't even aware of her being an android. Apparently, companion androids are commonplace in the near future, but I shudder to think of the cost and legal headaches that they would cause. Companion androids are not supposed to be able to harm humans, but Josh jailbroke his sex bot, as his friend so elegantly says, removing the safeguard which allowed Iris to kill Sergei. And I wouldn't even call her actions malicious, given that Sergei was trying to force himself on her. So it was a cut and dry case of self-defense. No pun intended. After the incident, Josh decides to decommission Iris to tie up loose ends. Iris escapes, and the story becomes a tense game of cat and mouse between the former lovers. But keep in mind that all of the carnage that happens in this film is because of Josh's greed and envy. The body count grows eventually, leading to a face-off between Iris and Josh. I had enjoyed the film from the get-go, but the last act sealed it as a great film. The levels of psychological, verbal, and physical abuse that Josh does to Iris is disgusting, and it truly shows what kind of monster that he is. And with all the nastiness going on, thankfully the movie provides a compelling protagonist in Iris, as she gains more intelligence and autonomy as the film progresses. My favorite aspect of the film is that it made the android character the most empathetic and human, ironically. One thing that I grow tired of, even in good science fiction, is that when an AI becomes self-aware, it almost always becomes the villain of the story. This movie subverts that trope entirely, and even though she commits violence, it's always in self-defense and to try and escape the impossible scenario that she's stuck in. The movie ends on a comedic and hopeful sentiment for Iris's future. And the film's ending does leave it open for a sequel or a spin-off, which might work, but I'd honestly prefer it to just be a great standalone film. However, I am interested in seeing what the up-and-coming writer and director of this film, Drew Hancock, does next, because I think he killed it for being, one of the first films he's worked on. So, in conclusion, I wholeheartedly recommend this film and hope that you all get to experience it and form your own opinion. If you have seen it, let me know in the comments what you thought of the film and the video in general. If you liked the video, consider liking and subscribing to the channel for the new content coming soon. This video is a bit of an experiment, so if you want me to cover more new releases, let me know. Till next time, remember to experience life with empathy, sincerity, and open-mindedness.